Hello and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. It's your girl, Milagros here. And today I'm coming to you as your life coach because it's the beginning of the year, it's a new year, and people have a tendency to set resolutions for the year. I personally think that the word resolution has taken a bad rap because the word resolve in and of itself is a determination to move in a direction, to make a decision and to follow through. I'm going to resolve to do that. I resolve to do that means I resolve to do that every day. And when I miss it, I pick back up and I go again, right? We instead, as people, have a tendency to set these resolutions, and then 65% of people within the first 2 weeks fall off. Actually, it's about the mark of the first 2 weeks that they fall off of their resolutions. So rather than call them resolutions because it feels finite to a lot of people, why don't instead we call them themes? Maybe we set a theme for the month. Maybe we set a statement for the year. Maybe we create a mission statement for our year and we start living in accordance with that. I have this genius friend that I was talking to last night on text, and she's calling them investments. She said, here are my top 5 investments for this year. Time, energy, and money is going to be invested in these 5 things, and everything else can just fall to the side. This is where my investments of my time, energy, and money is going to go. That's genius because, again, we have a tendency to see the word resolution as being finite. So then when we miss it, we fall off. All right, 2 quick pieces of data for you. Some scientific data about the human brain. We are running off of programming. Our brains function and operate off of programming that we were taught when we were younger or that came about as a result of trauma. And so we're living out that programming, believing, because the human brain has one job, and it is to keep us safe, or at least what it believes is safe. So a lot of times, when it comes to rewriting old programming, we have to understand, and most people don't, that it takes time. It's not something that you can do overnight, generally speaking. Now, there are 2 ways to rewrite old programming. The first is trauma, which again means you have to be traumatically impacted in order for your old programming to be instantly shifted so you move into a new program, right? So I don't want to traumatize you, and no, really, people don't want trauma. And trauma in and of itself is not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It just is until we assign it a title of good or bad. So there is post-traumatic stress disorder, which is seen as negative, and then there is post-traumatic stress growth, which is seen as positive. There are people who, for instance, I've told this story before, there was a guy who was told that he had diabetes from his lifestyle, and that he probably wasn't going to live to see his kids graduate from school or to walk them down the aisle. He had 2 daughters, and his dream in his mind was to walk his daughters down the aisle. This news, this impacted him in such a way as trauma that he went home, emptied his refrigerators and his cabinets, took all the food, dropped it off at a dumpster, went and bought cookbooks, went to the supermarket and shopped the perimeter only, and then went home and decided we're living a new life. Boom, period. And he met with resistance with his family, but he didn't care because he had that statement from his doctor created such a shift in him. It was so traumatic for him that he instantly shifted and changed his entire lifestyle. That was a few years ago. He's now super healthy. He's a personal trainer. He does body competitions. His wife lost weight. His daughters lost weight. Everybody's super healthy, super athletic, and they're happier because they feel good in their bodies and they're moving more and they're eating better, and so on and so forth. There's so many benefits of healthy eating and active living. But anyways, so that news became traumatic for him in a way that it shifted his programming and was able to instantly change the way that he perceived food and living, right? Now that's fantastic, but that's not real for a lot of people. So the way that most people have to do it is through repetition, which means that you make a decision and then you have to commit to that decision day in and day out. The other piece of data that I want to give you is that it takes 28 to 32 days to rewrite an old program and to create a new habit. So knowing that, we have to make a determination to be disciplined enough and to commit for 28 to 32 days. And you don't have to look at it as the entire 28 to 32 days. You just have to take one day at a time. Did I get my butt up and get moving for 30 minutes today? Yes, I did. Check. Go me. Right? And then you do that again and again and again for 28 to 32 days. Now, if you miss it because you're human, That's okay. Be kind to yourself. Pick up and keep going. We have a tendency to go, oh no, I'm a horrible person, or oh, I didn't follow through, or oh, I'm such a loser. And then we fall like way off. So you're going to miss it. You're rewriting old programming that you've been operating under for how many years? It takes some time and commitment. Just keep getting up and doing it again and again and again and again. And when you commit and you find yourself actually able to do it for 28 to 32 days straight, new habit. And then your program is rewritten and you're able to kind of just live in that direction. And then it becomes more about discipline. And then it is discipline. And then when you miss it, you don't beat up on yourself because you're like, oh, I got it. I'm going to get back to that immediately, if not sooner, because I just had a funky day, or I was just really tired, or whatever. It's a different approach. So 1, 28 to 32 days to rewrite a habit. 2, to rewrite old programming. And to rewrite old programming, you have to understand that you're rewriting years of programming, and the best way to do that is through repetition. So when you pick your theme or your investments or your mission statement or your declaration for the year, you put that in the forefront of your mind by writing it in a journal, writing it on a mirror, putting it somewhere where then you start to align your thoughts, words, and actions with that statement, with those investments, with those themes, and then you find yourself moving in that direction. The other thing is too that when we keep it right there in the forefront of our minds, we're more likely to allow ourselves to be open to opportunities to allow that to flow in and through us, right? Which is really magical. So that's what I have for you. Okay. Instead of calling them resolutions, if you feel like resolutions are finite, decide instead that it's a theme or an investment or just a few words or a mission statement, nothing super long, and then write it down. Write it in your journal, write it in your phone, write it in your computer, write it on your mirror, write it on a sticky and put it on your fridge. Just write it down to keep it constantly in the forefront of your mind. 2, know that it takes 28 to 32 days to create a new pattern, a new program, and so you just have to commit to committing, right? And then the last thing that I want to share with you is most people fall off. 65% of people fall off at the 2-week mark. Knowing that that is the case, it is in our best interest to create a contingency plan so that when we hit that hump, we can get over it. So if you are looking at fitness, one of the best things that you could do is get a personal trainer. So that way, when you hit that 14-day mark, you have someone there to keep you accountable. If it's a project or a reading or something, get a friend who wants to do this with you, and that way you two can hold each other accountable. So when you hit that 14 to 17-day mark, where most people fall off, you have someone to go, no, we're not falling off. Remember, we knew that this was coming, and so we're going to push through this hurdle so we can get to the other side, get to our 28 to 32-day mark, rewrite the programming, create a new habit. We deserve it, and we're worthy, right? And maybe you can be that for someone else, and again, they can be that for you. So knowing that, create for yourself a little contingency plan, and you get to decide what that's going to look like. So here's the thing. You deserve and you are worthy of living the best life that you can have right now. And it may not look exactly like the life of your dreams, but you can still be happy in this moment. And a lot of our happiness comes from allowing ourselves to be open to joy and allowing ourselves to take responsibility for our own peace. It sounds counterintuitive, but when we take responsibility for our lives and our freedom, you start to feel like I can do anything, because that's the truth. You can do anything, and you are already deserving and worthy. You can do this. Whatever it is that you resolve to do, you can do this. You have it all in you. You're stronger than you know. And the fact that you're still here proves that you are strong and capable and intelligent and amazing. Like you're still here. Life hasn't broken you. Now you can take life by the reins and decide, what kind of life do I want to live? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? How do I want to live my life? You get to decide that. And you don't have to wait till January 1st, right? January 1st is not some magical date. You can do that at any moment, at any time. You can do that right now. Like today, right now, I've decided I'm going to do this. It's January 2nd. This is what I'm going to do. Things about to change. Y'all watch out, right? We get to decide. So decide. Figure it out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who could benefit from it, share it. If you haven't already, subscribed to my channel. But more importantly, if you create a theme or a mission statement or some investments for your life, Do you a favor. Put them in the comments. That way we can hold each other accountable. Or at least, like, I'm not going to check in on you and hold you accountable, but at the very least, you put it out there into the universe, and when you share it, you make it real. And then it makes you feel like, now I got to follow through because I made it real. Do it, right? Be brave. Put it in the comments below, and then let your life unfold accordingly. And it's going to be super sparkly everything. It's going to be magic. So that's all I have for you. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope that as you move forward, you continue to be kind and loving to yourself, and that you acknowledge that this is a process and it takes time. So because it's a process and it takes time, we can decide to enjoy it along the way, right? I'm going to grow and I'm going to figure it out. And sometimes I might hit a hurdle or a little, but there's even growth in all of that. There's growth in all of that. And it's all good. It's all so good. So that's it. I got to go. I got to write my theme, my mission statement. Actually, I already wrote it. But I have stuff I want to add because I was having ideas as I was sitting here talking to you. Okay, I'm out of here. I love you so much. Have a great week. Peace.